Hey, everybody, my name's Cody Sosby. I want to welcome you to the Franklin County Rough Riders podcast. My friends here today on my right,
Colt Shelby,
and on my left,
Casey Brown.
And Casey, take us through a little bit of what we're going to talk about today with everything all fighting this prison.
Well, I think to kind of kick things off, just kind of explaining what we're going to do here is we're going to go back to the very beginning from the announcement and kind of walk our way all the way through. Is there anything you guys want to cover on just the announcement? Just want to do some quick overviews here. Just give everybody a little information of what does this look like? What are we going to be talking about?
Well, I'll tell you what. So I was in Jao, New Mexico when the announcement came up, and I was sitting there watching it on YouTube, and we were getting our butts handed to us. And what I really liked is when Brian King and Gary Stubblefield started speaking. The crowd kind of got into it. Did y'all hear that? Do y'all remember the gym that night?
Are you talking about? Let's go back to the
you want to go back to the Mark Dietz? Okay,
all the way back to Mark Dietz when we first found out.
Oh, I just had no clue.
Yeah. So on October 31st, the governor made an announcement on KDYN radio that they were going to build a 3,000 bed correctional facility in Franklin County. I think part of that explaining a part of the deal, we all kind of perked up and was like, Franklin County. And I remember specifically hearing 7 miles north of Charleston, 7 miles east of Lavaca, and going, that's where I live. It's not going here. So that was the announcement. A bunch of us listened that day. And so anyway, go from there, Colt.
Well, I mean, my thoughts were, there's no way. I mean, not where we live. Where are they going to put a prison?
Yeah, it was the same for me. Whitney called me and she's like, do you know they're putting a prison up here on the mountain? They're not putting no prison up there.
Yeah. I think everybody did that because it was just, we live there. This is where we live. Where in the crap are they going to put something of that size, of that magnitude?
So when people start building houses up here, they realize they shouldn't have put a house there. How many loads of shell was in your place?
86.
86 loads
for 3,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Somebody may want to send her a calculator. That's going to be
a lot. For 70 acres?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so to explain that, Casey lives just right north of the prison property, and Colt lives just to the east of it, and I live just to the south of it. But we all were raised here, went to school here, this area, and graduated from here. Our families are from around here. We've got families that are farmers, from everything. We know this land. Is that safe to say?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. So we're naturally like, there's not going there. There's no way they're building that prison there. It's a big rock. I remember saying that specifically because we live right south of there. But so anyway, that was October 31st. Safe to say pandemonium or whatever just goes all over this county. And the phones start ringing. So go from there.
Who knew? Who knew about all this? Was there any local government that knew? Did our senators knew?
Everybody at the time, everybody knew but us. My thoughts were everybody knew.
Yeah.
Why didn't they tell us?
So
quorum court knew.
Yeah. So I can speak on from the quorum court side of things. And my district at that time was where this prison is, District 8 in Franklin County. And I'm sitting there going, I know a lot going on in the county. Certainly nothing secretive, but I know I've been in this position for 5 years at this time. I know what's going on. There's no prison going there. And I started getting a little bit sick to my stomach. I was like, I called Johnny Crocker, our sheriff. I called Ricky Bowman. I mean, I'm just like, well, they'll know. I mean, I think I'm in everything. I don't mean that boastful, but I know what's going on in the business of Franklin County. But we didn't know. And when I started figuring out that they didn't know, I called John Eubanks and I called late Gary Stubblefield, and all of them said the same thing. Cody, we didn't know about this. And then I started not panicking, just knowing something bad's going down.
But everywhere you went, you heard they knew. Everybody knew.
I'm not going to lie. I may have had a personal conversation within the walls of my house.
Why wouldn't you?
Did Cody know? How could he not know?
Yeah.
But
why wouldn't you have that?
It wasn't that I didn't believe that you didn't know. It was just like, it was hard. It was a lot to process because it's like, man, Cody's not that guy. Like, he can't hide this from his family and everybody. Like, there's just no way. It's
but
not possible.
You question everybody.
Oh, 100%.
You question, and when something like that comes up, it's like, who did this?
Well, it's political. So the first thing we all think, wow, somebody knew something somewhere, something. And I remember that was a fun question to ask you guys. Did y'all think I knew about it? Well, I think if people are being honest, well, yeah, he had to know. He's on the quorum court. They know everything county. The county judge would know. The sheriff would know. Everybody said that.
So let's fast forward to now. Who knew?
Who knew about the prison?
Yeah.
Well, the governor knew. Just to, you can school us on that. I would assume that Joe Profiri knew. I would assume that.
But locally.
Oh, locally?
Oh, locally, no.
The one dude that sold the land.
I don't think he knew.
Oh, you don't think he knew it's going to be a prison?
Nope.
Oh, I don't think.
No.
I don't think
No,
so.
He didn't know. I mean, looking at the emails, the FOIA emails,
Yeah.
he did not know.
But now that cat went to Alaska.
I know.
And there couldn't have been a worse move to make, in my opinion, at that time. Be like me moving to South America. Hi, guys, I didn't know anything. By the way, I went to U-Haul out here and I'm going to South America. Everybody, I knew it. And it's the same thing with that guy. I knew it.
Yeah.
But now you get the Freedom of Information Act emails and you can see that was not the case.
So I think we got a lot more to cover on that stuff here.
Yeah.
But again, we're just giving everybody a taste of like just what we're going to be covering here. So I want to move on. I want to dive into the one of the big ones here, and that's the infrastructure. Tell us about the the roadways. Maybe touch on a couple of the the promises that's been made, and
tell them about what the governor said. And so she's on KDY, and this is our rural radio station that most all of us grew up listening to, and I listened to for everything from dollar deal to weather to forecast to the scores of the football game.
Man, everybody loves some dollar deals.
Everybody listens. Everybody listens to KDYN 92.7. So we're all tuned in. And we're listening to her talk about infrastructure. So go ahead, Colt.
Well, no, I mean, she still talks about it today. It's how the roads are there, the electric's there, the water's there, the workforce is there. Everything that is needed for a prison is on that mountain.
So one of her things that sticks out to me that day about, and I think this falls into infrastructure, she said she was going to create 800 jobs at this prison. Well, I've been involved in a county for the past several years that's what we did. We created jobs. We're hiring people. We're trying to make things happen inside the county. And I'm going,
I thought you was trying to fire everybody.
No, don't say that. Good grief, how do I fire everybody? That's not good. But I'm sitting there listening going, I have tried to, I have been a part of hiring deputies. I've worked alongside the sheriff on hiring deputies. And I know I don't want to say impossible, but it's extremely, extremely hard to hire deputies. So she comes on here and says, 800 people, I'm going to make 800 people a job. And I'm like, good luck, sister. Not in Franklin County, not in Crawford, not in Logan, not in Scott. Yeah, I mean, I just started thinking, good luck. And so that was the first thing that stuck out to me, that she's not ginning on our page right now. So
I'm going to defend the governor here.
Oh my gosh.
I know the devil's advocate. So
this was a surprise.
If you look at the GIS report, which I assume is what was given to her, it looks good. Have y'all seen it?
The GSI report?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the workforce, with
the
infrastructures, it shows the substations, it shows the water lines.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's good conversation. You're right.
It shows. Right. I mean, imagine if you was the governor and you were given this piece of paper, what would you think?
Periodically throughout this podcast, Colt will take the other side's team sometimes if you don't know what's coming.
You gotta
He's
listen
got another buddy. He's got another buddy, and you're all going to find out who he is.
Both sides of the story. I'm not a fan, but as a leader, and you're given this, what would you think?
Sure. And you're correct, because
I sent it to both of you as soon as I got it.
Obviously, the governor has a deep staff. I mean, meaning they've got connections there. They work for the governor. So
Funny
they,
you say connections.
well, yeah, but so I get
We'll
that.
get back
And to
to
this day,
that.
to this day, September the 22nd, I still think she's handed things that she thinks is correct about this
See?
prison.
Yeah.
I do. Now,
And now I'm going to talk a little bit bad about the governor.
let's just go ahead. Yeah, carry on with that.
So we know we have an idea who's leading this, right?
The governor. I mean, are we saying names? Do we say Shelby Johnson?
No, Joe Profiri.
Oh, Joe Profiri. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Joe Profiri is definitely leading this.
Super qualified Joe
So-
Profiri.
You have to tell him who Joe Profiri is. So,
Well, I guess we'll get into
Yeah.
that.
No,
Is that now or is that later?
yeah, I mean, I think we're walking into the side details here, so we're touching base on that. So he's got a big role in that, so we might as well just introduce him.
Introduce you.
so the governor has a very important person working for her, and I just say everything the governor needs, does whatever. Joe's a man.
Yep.
And so anyway, so touch on where Joe.
Yep.
You know his
Let's
background.
do the background on Joe
Yeah,
Profiri.
background
Joe
on Joe.
Profiri come from Arizona. He was the assistant director of corrections in Arizona. Sanders hired him on to be the Board of Corrections, Secretary of Corrections, where Lindsey Wallace is now.
Mhm.
He made it 1 year. The Board of Corrections decided to fire him because he wanted to do illegal things is what it comes down to. I mean, it's crazy things, illegal things, whatever you want to call it. But he wanted to put too many prisoners with not enough correction officers. So anyway, they fired him. And Sarah Sanders, I think it was like 3 days later, hired him on.
Yeah.
And I think, what is his job title? It is the Public Affairs Director of Corrections. Is his new job title.
Boy, I bet he makes a lot of money with that kind of title.
Do you see what he made, Dick?
Yeah, I feel like I got a text today somewhere around the tune of was it like $313,000?
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Not a bad
So
gig.
anyway, he's been kind of leading the way for this 3,000 bed facility in Franklin County. Now, if you watched JPR last week, awesome. It was fantastic. And
Well, tell him why it was fantastic.
because
he lied.
it shows every lie.
Let's not get
And-
too deep into that.
Okay,
Okay.
keep pulling the reins.
I'm pulling the reins
Okay.
back because
Okay.
that's a full segment, and
Okay.
there's a lot there, and we're going to want to pull a lot out of that. But I do want you to keep. You've introduced Joe Profiri, so I think it's a good time to kind of go ahead and talk about the Board of Correction, those people, the big players in that, and some of these other positions that just introduce the crowd, our main people that we're going to be talking with and about here.
I mean, we're going to go with everything that's associated with it, in my opinion, from the GIS group to the DFA folks that gave them the money that bought the property to.
So people were probably going to say, how did the governor know about this property to buy it? So people listening into this deal, they're going to say, we're telling the governor knew about it. So, I mean, well, how did they know? How did they make that connection? The land comes up for sale, obviously.
Do we believe in conspiracy theories?
I mean, I think you can talk about it. I think you can.
So if you look at, I don't know how, Duke, you got to pull me back if I get to talking too much, but if you look into the people that posted the property for sale, there's connection with them and a certain state senator. And with that connection, somehow they're on the eastern part of the state. They found land on the far western side of the state, which they don't have any posted, just that come up. They probably end up about, I don't know, 300,000 out of the deal, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. I think
It just goes back to a conspiracy theory of how did they find this land which we knew they were looking for land, but how did a company on the other side of the state find this property that wasn't even listed?
Yeah. Well, so I'll tell you, on that side of listing and stuff, my family land is just to the south of that. And my dad's an old cowboy, has cattle, and he still rides his horse, just if not every day, every week. But he rides fence, checking fence. That's what old cowboys do. Well, naturally, if he's riding this fence where the prison is, he's going to notice, he going to know if there's a leaf out of place. He rides it every day. But I can't ever say we knew it was for sale or.
You'd see pink ribbon.
Yeah.
Steak.
But, you think that might be, you might be electric company, you might be, no telling what. If you have land, people are always doing easements and stuff, that kind of stuff all the time. So I guess maybe just nothing out of the ordinary.
You see something.
If
my neighbor is surveying land, I see it. You don't have to be looking for it. It just pops up.
Yeah. So Dad, I mean, I asked him, he's at this point in time, mind you, Dad thinking I know something, probably knows something about this prison. But I was like, Dad, did you see anything when you was riding cattle? Did you see anything you checking? And, oh no, I seen some of this. And he's 83 years old.
His own daddy thinks he's corrupt.
Yeah.
Do you blame him?
Let's ask Ronnie Shelby
you
and
blame
Jerry
him?
Brown what they think about us.
But anyway,
I know what Ronnie thinks about you.
the land's bought. I mean, it's going to happen at this point. To say that we're scratching our heads and beating our head against the wall, trying to figure out what has happened, how it's happened, who knows, who knew, you knew. I mean, I've said this before to y'all, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but our county of officials we about imploded because just trying to figure out what was going on, who knew, why didn't you know, and that's how it went. That sounds silly, but that's how it went for.
You know how I know they didn't know? Because on quorum court, when they wrote that resolution, and they all voted unanimously against it.
Well, I'm glad you got that kind of confidence in the court.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably quite a few people there.
Oh, yeah.
For quorum court.
Sure.
And you was on it still.
Yep. Till January the 1st, 2025. Let me get that out there.
Duke and Whitney and the newborn baby was there.
Yeah, it was a full house. It was a full house. And, but, if we just want to catch up to now, but just people thought somebody, we're trying to figure it out. How Cody Sosby didn't know. How did Ricky Bowman not know? How did Johnny Crocker, the sheriff, not know? We're trying to figure all that stuff out too. And so as we don't, in comes the, we don't, I don't know. They decide to have a town hall. Would that be the next step, you think? To how we're going to find out what's going on?
Yep.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
No, yeah, I like it. It's kind of falling in place.
Well, it's under who knew. Anyway, we can come back to it later. So, but the community's reaction, that was 7 days after it was it 7 days after she announced that we had the town hall? Y'all remember that?
Yeah. I think it was.
So stick with the story, because within 7 days, as we're all trying to figure out what's going on, they decide they're going to have the Board of Corrections, state officials, whoever is going to have a town hall, so to speak, in the Charleston Gymnasium, downtown Charleston, Arkansas. So, but anyway, that's the first time we got to ask, the first time we thought we were going to get to ask questions. Joe Profiri is going to be there. The governor's staff, Lindsey
but we
Wallace.
didn't know who Joe Profiri was at that time.
No.
Yeah.
And thank goodness. I don't know, I shouldn't say it like that, but I wasn't there. I was watching on my phone. I could not fathom what was going on. So anyway.
So this brings me back when you said announcement. So the announcement was like, there's no way they're putting a prison in our community. So the real announcement was when it became real life, and that is town hall meeting. It got real.
Tell everybody who all was at the town hall as far as Board of Corrections. Obviously, Joe Profiri was there.
You went.
Yeah.
From what I've seen on TV, it was Lindsey Wallace, Joe Profiri.
Oh, I don't.
Benny Magnus.
Yeah, Benny was there.
Was Lee Watson?
And Gary Stubblefield.
Lee Watson.
Lee Watson. Brian King.
Yep.
And Shelby Johnson was there also.
I don't remember.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think they were.
So anyway, I did ask because, I tell people in the middle of having a prison dropped on you, all of a sudden, we as kind of local officials are having to put on a massive event. All of a sudden, we ain't got time to say much about the prison right now. We've got all these people coming into town, hostile people coming into this gym. We've got to have security set up. We got to have microphones. We got to find a moderator. I mean, we've got all these things within just a handful of days to make come together, and it was a lot. That was a lot. I kept saying, we've got to stop fighting this prison, and we got to produce an event. Then we can go back to fighting the prison. And so their timing, which I'm sure they thought they were doing us just such a great service and favor of coming down to Charleston Gym, but
And I thought they did a great job getting that set up too. You know,
oh my God.
Oh yeah, Mark Dietz did a really good job
yeah.
moderating that. But you know, this brings me back. I was so mad because they were just handing it to us like, "You're going to get this prison. We're going to put the prison here. This is what's going to happen, and you're all going to like it." And then that's when Stubbs and King come in.
That gym came alive when they said we was going to like it.
Yeah,
We was going to have people working there.
it
which
almost
I'm
did,
sure,
but
somebody will.
We have a very respectful community because anywhere else in Arkansas, if you'd have done something like that, they'd have been raiding the court. But everybody's like,
well, so
they respected.
There's a couple of those folks that they got up a couple of times like they was going to walk away, and ended up sitting back down. But I think that's all part of Mark Dietz having good control of it.
Yeah, no, he did.
So Mark Dietz is him and his wife Shay Dietz are owners, operators of the KDYN studio, KDYN 92.7.
Are they paying you money?
Nope. I like to say I'm so groomed.
Is that a KDYN shirt he's wearing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were which
Who's mentioning who here?
If he's getting paid for this, I want part of the.
golly, boy,
There is a monthly fee that we have to pay here.
I'm not. But I guess so. I skipped over one thing early back on. November the 1st, just overnight, pretty much, Gary Stubblefield and our state senator in our district, Gary Stubblefield and Ricky Bowman were going on KDYN the next day. And so I just roll up in there. I get in my truck and drive over there. I'm friends with all of them. I'm going to find out what's going on. Not that I'm mad, not that I'm whatever. At this point, as leaders, we've got to figure out what the heck is going on. So when they're sitting in there, this was the next day, after she announced, we're sitting in the studio and they're getting texts from certain, electric company. Didn't know anything about it. Well, now they didn't know this person, all of a sudden we're finding out all these people didn't know anything about it. And while they're live on air, they're getting texts from other people saying they didn't know about it. And, I got sick to my stomach, dude. I was like, this is crazy. And so then a few days later, we have the town hall, but people have brewed on it for a few days. And it happened just about exactly went down about like I thought it would. And so anyway, we got, that's technically how it all started. And then it's just been a circus from then on out.
Colt, walk us through the Department of Corrections, their involvement, who's running that show over there.
Well, I wish I could help you out with that, but nobody knows. But as far as the Franklin County site, I don't feel like the Board of Corrections. So Gary Stubblefield had put out a news article here about 2 months ago, and it was about calling it extortion. So,
that was in Rogers that day.
Yep,
I heard that.
And with that being said, and anybody in any department will tell you, it don't matter if it was TSS. I guess they just changed it to SAS. But if the governor decides to cut you off, then you get cut off. So you walk a fine line. You can't cross over to making the governor mad, or she'll just cut funding. And then what are you going to do? We'll say the Board of Corrections. So the Board of Corrections did accept the site because they lease most of their facilities for $1 a year, right? The state of Arkansas owns the land, owns the property. The Board of Corrections leases the property for $1 a year. Now, you went with me to Calico Rock.
We did.
And when you get up to Calico Rock, what'd you see?
A lot of rock.
A lot of rock. Calico Rock has a lot of rock. And it was definitely worth the trip to go because when you get there, you realize that, you know, in some ways it's similar, but in the most important ways, it is not. So Calico Rock has got well water, which is a huge, huge thing, especially this day and time. Water.
We're not going to tee off too far on that because that's going to be a good, hour segment right there just on its own.
On water?
Yeah.
Infrastructure? Yeah.
That's going to be a long one.
Well, go back. I'm going to run back to infrastructure. I don't know if we did enough justice on that, but on that interview she did that day, she's talking about the roads and how good the roads were and how we needed to have hospitals and how we had fire stations. And if you didn't know any better, you'd think she's describing Rogers, Arkansas. I mean, everything at the ready, just plug in and take off and go. And we're all sitting there going, baloney. They can't drive up those roads. They can't go across those bridges. And electricity. I just sitting there looking at the infrastructure.
Have you drove a 1 ton down 96?
Yes, I have. Yeah, often. But so
It's like you got to go to the chiropractor.
Us people living here. Now, if you live in you live in Hamburg, you're not worried about infrastructure of this prison. But we're sitting here listening, going, this is nothing like she said on the radio. She's not describing this. And one of my favorite stories is the fire stations that are close by. And I'm like, that's where the brush truck is for a volunteer fire department of 3 and the coon dog hunters that go down there. That their position is to, they get to meet there to go coon hunting, and they plug the trucks in, make sure the batteries are charged up. But if you're listening on the radio, there's a fire station right there. Well, sounds safe to me. Well, the infrastructure there, the roads, wow, they've got the roads. And I'm thinking, until a hay van pulls around or a chicken truck sideways in the road. I mean, yeah, I'm sitting there going, no, all of a sudden she's not describing this area at all in the infrastructure. So that alone gets me a big old right there. Oh, that would be, do your button.
That's your
Where is it? Which one you want?
The BS button. There it is. I'll take that. Yeah. Yeah. So, man, she is painting a picture of what it's like up here. And I'm like, no, I live here. I know better.
Everything about it was just, it's not going to happen. And there's no way it's going to happen. Well, they keep pushing forward. They don't have money. They keep pushing forward.
I want to keep moving on because
pushing forward.
We need to push forward ourselves.
Keep pushing forward.
We're just introducing the podcast here, and we're getting on in it like we said we wasn't going to do. So
there's no way to keep from it.
It is. It's tough. I know we want to talk about it, but we'll try to start wrapping up this first episode here. But I do want to talk before we move on. I want to talk about what media we got involved, just to kind of scratch that surface of who's helping us out here media wise.
It's every one of them. Anything in Arkansas.
Well, I remember. Well, naturally, what are you going to do when you're fixing to run a big cause or something? You got to have media. You've got to have attention. So we start. We're local, so we start. Emailing, calling our local stations, and I remember a time where we thought, how are we ever going to get this out to the people in Little Rock or the people in West Memphis or the people in Jonesboro? Because we seen real quick, it wasn't in our backyard, yes, but it was going to affect the entire state financially. And that's when we started. We've got to get this word out. Well, people would come in. Like
one of the first ones that I noticed that jumped on it was Conduit News.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They even jumped on it before in my opinion, local did. Like they were like, because they're very conservative.
Yeah. Well, they're all about accountability too.
Oh yeah.
And of course we can't explain how we were reaching for help at this point in time. And man, and when they come along, and I just knew of Content News through just reading, and that's what I thought. They are super accountability. They are all about holding government accountable. And there was a time like, man, well, we'll just shut this down next week. We got, Content News is going to come in there. But then I think it's safe to say they were just as shocked and surprised as us. So was Channel 5. And then here come news stations from Little Rock coming up to Mill Creek Mountain. And once we started explaining the honesty and openness of the whole situation, granted, they're professionals. They're going to sit there and do the interview. But when they shut the cameras off, of course, we're going to say their names, but they're like, there's no way. There's no water here. It's this big rock you're showing me. And then
nobody lives here.
Yeah.
Like, what are they?
And so we're like, thank you. Now you're understanding where we're coming from. And so since then, we've gotten what I feel is great media attention. And
Cody, what I'm hearing right now is you want to let bad guys out on the street. That's
yes.
Whoa. That's a whole episode.
Where the crap did that come? Colt thinks he's being funny right now, but there'll be somebody listening to this going, they keep going back to that Sosby guy and the money. I mean, you guys know I deal with press. I know how it goes. But
if nobody knows, Holt played left field in baseball.
Yeah. Hey, let me do my favorite. The first time I got called a MFer.
Whoa.
Dude, on the text and stuff, I was getting these unknown calls. This is what the day the governor made the announcement. I don't even remember. I remember I was making those 45-minute Facebook Lives, just rambling about what I have no idea what's going on. I would get text or calls from unknown numbers and calling me, you MF and hillbilly, you're going to be rich. Because our land borders the prison. They're thinking,
Dude, that's the craziest thing to me is like people have this big misconception that we moved out to the country to put a come and go out here on the corner of Valley Creek and 215. Like,
I understand where they're coming from because when I wake up every day, almost a year later. Still,
do you really understand?
I do, because every day I wake up just mad. I'm mad at somebody.
Coach Shelby, famous quote: "They think they're going to tire us out and let us quit, but that's not going to happen."
That ain't gonna happen. I'm not quitting.
I think the lady that answers the phone at the governor's office will agree. Colt definitely was one jump in there and just tell them about. I mean, I don't feel like I'm throwing you under the bus, but you've got involved with it, as a lot of people have. But when you got involved, all of a sudden you started seeing other situations and other, I don't say problems or whatever, but like, this ain't right. That ain't right. How did that happen? Who let that happen? And
I can pull this up right now.
Who let you in charge?
As a matter of fact.
Well, just going back real quick though, I mean, people really have this misconception that we're looking to grow, that we want Holiday Inn in Charleston, and we want a Burger King and out here. I mean, what does that mean for out here? I think you see property grow and they think that we want to build a city out here. We didn't move out here because we want neighbors.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
not the reality of it.
I don't mind being poor. I've been that way my whole life. I don't feel like I want to change it.
Some of them poor little girls that drove up there that were asking us, went up to the property and doing interviews, or asking us about, well, how long does it take Uber or your DoorDash to get here? And I was like, if it hadn't been for my rodeoing and traveling, I just used DoorDash a couple of weeks ago, the first time, and Uber, those things like
that.
Get
a big discount.
They think, well,
there he goes. KDYN.
Your Uber. How long does it take your Uber to get here? And in real honesty, they don't know. I always said one of the hardest things about this with media is explaining to them why we want to live like we live. I mean, no, we would be fine with not having a neighbor for 10 miles.
I don't want them to know.
And it's just the reason why we live there. And you would explain how my dad's and stepmom's well water goes dry all the time that's next to that prison. Well, oh my gosh, well, y'all wouldn't move. I mean, you don't have water. And like, oh no, that's been going on, maybe, 40 years here. That's just the way we choose to live. So go ahead and tell me.
So I want to tell you a story. So FOIA was a big thing.
Make it quick.
Well, okay, I'm going to make it quick. FOIA was a big deal when I
Explain
first
what
started.
FOIA is.
Duke?
Freedom of Information Act.
No, you got to do the noise.
Oh,
The noise?
I didn't know we had a
No.
voice.
FOIA.
No, it's way
No.
better than that. You got more of a
Which one?
girly voice one.
I don't have that one.
Yeah, you do.
FOIA.
No, he's got a way
He's
better one. He's
I
just...
don't know.
Freedom of Information Act is.
So I even got Duke involved in this. Like, how do you do it? So I was like, well, here's all I do. I just do like an old country boy version of Freedom of Information, send it in to the state. Well, before they would, you're supposed to have 3 days.
Mhm.
And they were very proactive and they were sending stuff that they probably shouldn't have sent out. But they would just compile all these files together and they'd send it to you. Well, this is one I sent just September 10th, and today is the 22nd. A little more than 3 days. And we'll go into details over this later on, but that's just an example of how FOIA's gotten now. Can I please get all documents and emails of Ann Laidlaw pertaining to Franklin County Prison Site from June 1st, 2024 to November 1st of 2024? Real simple, real easy.
Yeah.
And Mr. Shelby, we've received your FOIA, blah, blah, blah. Here's the next one on the 16th. Got more data to pull. Here's the next one, the 19th. More data to pull. Can't get it.
And as we get better with this, we'll try to show this on the screen. We'll split screen and start trying to show you some of these documents and such as we get better.
Yeah.
So I just forwarded it to Bart Hester, and I said, maybe you guys get better transparency in Franklin County. And a few more words, but I don't want to put on there.
Transparency.
Colt had no
Not-
problem calling them out.
Does he have a problem calling anybody out?
No.
Nobody has a problem calling me out.
Usually, like nowadays, Colt ends a conversation faster than anybody. Like somebody's on there having a little conversation, Colt jumps in, boom, they're gone.
He can.
Like,
I know.
They ghost the conversation.
I think
from
they
there.
defriend me is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's even been rebuked.
I have when we went to the
And
Capitol.
dismissed.
We went to the Capitol that one day, and I remember that somebody from across the room, Colt Shelby. And I don't remember if they said live and act something. It was like, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. There he's right there for the picking. And I just went around. Okay, Duke. Let's
Well,
wind her
guys,
up.
I think let's wind this thing up.
What's on the next one?
I think, we're just going to start diving in. We're going to go back to that announcement. Like I said, this was just kind of a little briefing on everything. We're going to go back to that announcement. We're going to give you kind of the full details on that. And, hopefully we can break that down to about 20 minutes and we'll start knocking these out. And then we're going to get,
How long was that one?
we're probably an hour in, but, so much for that 30 minutes. But, we'll start diving in on these and, start giving some more details on it. We did kind of run wild, a little bit wilder than I thought we was going to, but
it's just going to happen.
We're going to have
There's
to cut
no-
that short.
There's
Yeah,
no way.
you're
There's
gonna
no
have
way
to cut it
around.
short.
There's
Well-
no way around it.
we'll try it again.
It's too much of a
It
conversation.
probably didn't record again.
Yeah. So if those of you who don't know, like this is like take 3. We've had technical difficulties, and then if you're having trouble following us here today, like you should have seen episode 1. It was like 3 pinball machines going
Hey.
off.
And I'm telling you, I'm the opposite. I'm just like, let's roll, because there are people
That's
here that aren't going to understand anything what we're talking about. There are going to be people here that are professionals, and I just
Like myself.
But hang with us. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get this, and there is a lot of good information here, and we really want to reach everybody, across the state and get everybody informed because this doesn't just affect the people of Franklin County. I mean, this affects everybody. There's a lot of waste going on here. Millions and millions of dollars being wasted, and so you could even throw $1 billion out there.
well, we'll get into that. We can start talking about Brian King in the next one and how we come up with money figures and stuff, because that numbers man was one of the first ones that brought us some of those things. So
He's making it longer.
No.
Yes. Well, Cody, wrap this thing up. Send us off here, and
how do you send it off?
Oh.
kind of like
Come back and join us on the second episode.
something like that.
Can you make it a little more exciting?
It's going to be so fun on this second episode. No, hey, listen, Franklin County Rough Riders podcast. That name comes from Senator Brian King, one of our champions down in Little Rock. And come back and join us and like, share, subscribe. On to the next one.